Today, let's have a really quick look at the QDR arm balance. So it's this position where I'm balancing on my hand, my elbow, and my hip and my hip. So I'm sticking them all on top of each other, which creates my balance position. It can be done in this straight body position as well. Just requires a little bit more of a sweet spot. And it looks like that. The same principles apply. My hand, my elbow, my hip and my hip are stacked. Most people are going to see it in more of a capoeira type situation where they're rotating around the elbow and they walk around in that position, enter and exit from back bridge, or in the breakdancing freezes like this. But today I'm going to teach it to you guys from an arm balance, hand balance point of view. So to start with, just start on your hands and knees in this froggy position like this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate and take my right hip to my right elbow, come back again, do the same on my left side, back again. Now this is a really good warm up because it's getting my external rotation. So I want to be pulling this elbow in towards the midline as much as I can and taking the hand backwards, but it's much easier to move the body around as I do it. And then to progress the movement, I'm just going to take my top leg over and my head towards this arm. So leg over, head towards the arm and back again. Then I progress from there, I can take my top foot down towards the floor, which you'll see will pull the head up. And that's where we get to understand that seesaw mechanism where the feet come down and the head come up, or the head come down and the feet come up. We want to really have that great connection between those body parts, and that's going to make it much easier to balance. Exactly the same as the elbow lever, the more commonly seen croc position. But the difference is the torso and the body is tipped over with the QDR. So the hip and the elbow and the hand are all stacked on top of each other. Now once I'm comfortable with that position, I can just start to open everything out. So I'm going to take that hip to the elbow. Elbow stays on top of the hand. Take the foot over, lift the head up at the same time. Now I'm trying to take this top leg as far as I can that way, lift the head up as far as I can in the opposite direction. And then now I can lift this bottom leg. Now the way I can lift is because the stacking is correct. If the stacking is wrong, if my elbow's over here and I've got weight on my elbow, it's going to collapse towards the floor, same as if it's over here. So it's very crucial that that elbow stays directly on top of the hand when I'm in that QDR loaded position. Then I can lift this leg up. Now I could take the head to the floor, balance there. I could take the feet to the floor, see that seesaw, and balance there. But because we're aiming for more of that arm balance position, we want to try and get it so the torso, the legs and the arm are all in a straight line, and that's where we can balance and it looks cool and we can get onto that one arm. So to start moving it towards the one arm position, I'm going to go into that position again, lift that leg, and now as I take this top leg down, I'm going to reach away with this hand. So 5 fingers, 4 fingers, and then 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger. And then as I pull this top leg down just a little bit more, it's going to lift up this hand for a second, and then I can come back again. So I can just practice time under tension in that position, just do holds for 10 seconds on 5 fingers, and then just reduce it until we get to the magic 1 finger. Now obviously there's a big difference between 1 finger and no fingers. Just get to the point where this finger is very, very light on the floor before you do that final pull down with the leg, lift up with the hand, but make it very, very subtle and make sure that that elbow is stacked on top of that hand. You'll definitely know if it's not, because it will hurt the wrist like crazy and you just feel like your hips are not stable on top of the elbow because the base is basically moving around. Once you have the position down, you can start to play around with different leg positions. You can bend the legs, you can have the legs straight, you can even bring the legs together like I showed earlier. So that position, and then you can also start to play around with transitions to it. So we could handstand down to it, so lowering down. So if I'm in a handstand position, I can lower down. Now, as I lower down, notice what I'm doing with the legs. I'm bringing the bottom leg forwards, so it's in the right position for when I tip out to find that elbow lever, QDR, shall I say, position. So to recap, make sure you get very comfortable with loading the elbow on top of the hand. Make sure the hip is directly on top. Then bring that top leg over to align the top hip with the bottom hip, with the elbow, with the hand. Bring the foot down so you can start to lift the shoulders up. Get very comfortable with that. Then lift up that second leg. So the second leg comes up, reach up with the head and the foot. So you lengthen the body, and then you can start to decrease this hand. Reach away, and then eventually up in the air. Now we'll take a little bit of exploration. I'll definitely be working that other version, that croc position. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.